but she's a birth doula, and I'm gonna let her introduce what that is and what's the differences and all that. But her name is Nichelle. So everybody, put your hearts in the comments and all that.
Yeah.
And
Welcome.
let's see what's happening.
Welcome.
Hi everybody. So
Hi,
first of all,
Michelle.
hi. So first of all, I just want to say thank you guys for having me on the show, and I very much appreciate the opportunity. So my name is Nichelle. I'm a full spectrum holistic doula, where I support women and families anywhere from their fertility or postpartum journey. And that can look like a whole bunch of things depending on the needs of the family. I'm also a fertility coach. I am a breastfeeding advocate, which I've been for about 10 years. I also specialize in herbs, so I'm an herbal specialist. I went to college and minored in holistic health and healing. Um, I guess pretty much my goal in the birth work world is to put birth back into the hands of the birthing women, and to give us back our source power, which starts at the womb through the power of nutrition, through hydration, and through spirituality and mindset. So I'm also a womb healer. So that's pretty much what I do, a summary of what I do.
All right, cuz can you tell them the difference between a doula and a midwife?
Yes. So a doula is a trained companion who supports women and families physically, mentally, and educationally. We are not trained to take care of any of the medical needs. We don't act as medical professionals. We don't do anything medical. Midwives are people who can assist in emergency situations. So if there is resuscitation needed, or if a woman needs to be stitched up, that is the job of a midwife. Doulas don't do anything medical. So that's how that sets us apart.
Okay, cuz we talked earlier, and there's a lot of ladies in the comments, and there's one particular one that's right over here. And let me see if I get it right. She's right over here. Tell them what that coffee does. Why is coffee bad for women?
Oh, okay. So coffee is bad, particularly for women, even though it's bad for all of us. But particularly for women, it's bad for us because, first of all, it's a womb destroyer. So coffee dehydrates the body. Coffee also depletes your body of iron, and B minerals, and other nutrients that the endometrium and the womb needs to thrive. Coffee is uh, not allowing your body to absorb those minerals the proper way. So it so here's how I can tell you how detrimental it is. So if you are pregnant, and you take drugs, it won't pass through the placenta. The placenta is able to protect you from literal narcotic drugs. It's protecting the baby from that. But if you drink coffee, the coffee passes directly through the placenta. It cannot be stopped. That's how powerful and detrimental coffee is. And coffee raises high blood pressure. So a lot of times when you see preeclampsia, you see that the woman is a coffee drinker, because these are things that are so associated with drinking coffee. So if it's going to raise your blood pressure, then obviously it's not going to be good for you altogether.
Okay, Helen wanted to know, is decaf coffee, is that the same? Does that hurt like the same decaf?
Um, I'm not going to say it hurts the same, because I would be lying, but it still definitely has a poor effect on the body.
All right, Judge. I got another one that's gonna hurt them, but if you wanna get your question in right now, you can
Yeah,
go.
let me get it. Don't hurt them too bad. Let me get
Yeah,
it
I
straight.
have a question too.
All right, go.
First of all, this is a first part. Are you a vegan?
I am.
Okay.
I am. So I don't like to say that I'm a vegan. So when you talk about when people say vegan, they're saying I don't eat animals because I don't want to harm the animal. And I believe in animal rights. And not that I don't believe in animal rights. And I also wear sneakers, so I can't really say that I'm a vegan. I wear leather and things like that. But I say that I live a plant-based lifestyle. So I don't eat flesh. I don't eat meat. I don't eat any of that stuff. But I also don't live like there are so many vegans who eat poorly. They just eat a bunch of bread and a bunch of starch and a bunch of things just to stay away from eating the animal. I pretty much live a whole food lifestyle. So I make sure that I eat a raw diet most of the time, and I eat plants. So I'm a plant eater basically.
Gotcha.
I'm an herbivore.
Absolutely, and that's what I wanted to get to. I study a West African culture, and one of the older gods, and he was saying that he doesn't even heat his food up because God already did it. You know what I mean? By the sun, by utilizing the sun. Our
Yes.
food is already cooked, so we're overcooking it, and the things that we have to cook, we probably shouldn't be eating it. And this is the other part of that. With that being said, because I'm really into the herbal culture as well, I believe that everything that can heal our body is not medical. It's not through pharmaceutical. Um, with that being said, what's some advice that you would give, people that's just beginning, just doesn't even understand actually how to get in that form of lifestyle and how beneficial it is for them?
Um, I guess my first advice would be to educate yourselves. To definitely start with speaking out to people and talking to people who have already started the lifestyle. Ask them how what changes they've seen, how has it impacted their lives. I advocate for fasting in the beginning, because it if you go right from your regular American diet to trying to just transition into a plant-based diet, a lot of people run into that. I call it the big bang, and it's like everything crashes. You crash, you have headaches, all
Right.
of these things happen to you, and then they feel like, oh, it's not working for me, or oh, I'm not getting enough protein, or I'm not getting enough calories. But in actuality, you haven't allowed your body the time and the space to wean off the lifestyle first, and then to implement, you know, the good stuff. So I definitely say start off with gentle fasting, intermittent fasting. Um, and educate yourselves, learn what foods are high in different things like protein and iron and different stuff like that before you just kind of jump into it, because it can leave you lost, and you don't really know where you're going, because you feel bad. And everything, I think everything takes that kind of thing. It's like death and a rebirth, like you have to go through the process in order to get to the other side, you know what I mean?
KD?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on detoxifying the body? Like anytime, you're going to change your lifestyle of eating, you have to prepare the body because the body is going to literally go through a shock.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on detoxifying the body, and how often would you say that it's safe to do so?
It depends on the level of toxicity within the body. I think if you live a normal American lifestyle and you eat the regular American diet, I think it is absolutely necessary to detox um, before you do anything. And detoxing really just means um, to stop, like stop eating, stop, putting the things in your body. You definitely want to incorporate herbs. You want to incorporate the fasting, and you want to allow the colon to cleanse itself, the gut. Let me say the gut. You want to allow the gut to cleanse itself, and the way we do that is pushing out the impurities through proper hydration, through the right foods. Watermelon is one of my favorite for detoxing. Um, Seeded watermelon, please.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and Cucumber is another. So any high water content fruit. And I can't go into too much herbal stuff because, obviously we have, you know, uh, people, out there that will say that we're giving out medical advice. So I can't go into too much of that stuff.
Right.
But there are certain herbs and things that you could take to cleanse the actual womb. I mean, not the womb. I'm sorry, the colon, and that's really pretty much what you have to do first is cleanse the gut because, like you said, if you just start trying to change the way you eat, your body will go into shock. Just like for me, if I start trying to go back the other way, my body will go into shock.
Right.
If I try to,
Right.
eat a piece of meat today, or if I drink something that I'm not used to drinking or eating,
Yeah.
my body will say, "What the heck is this?" And it
That's
works the
right.
same way.
Yeah. Treat it like a foreign object, and it's gonna just automatically begin to fight and could cause medical issues. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
I got another question. I got you, T. I want, so once I got your picture, and I, because I'm really into the culture as well, and I'm struggling to transition over. But when I looked up your page, and I just need you to answer this. I saw a plate of pig feet and some neck bones in your background on your Instagram. Can you explain that? I thought I saw you with a fork, some pig feet, some neck bones, and some collard greens with turkey necks.
I absolutely. That is not true. You lie.
That
You
is
lie.
definitely not true.
It probably was some mushroom pig feet.
That's my favorite. What do you have a cookbook or anything? No, I didn't, Janine. I'm just teasing. Do you have a cookbook? Because that's where a lot of people struggle. When you get hungry, you just get something that's convenient. You know what I mean? And I would love some help in that area.
I actually definitely thought about doing an ebook where I give out recipes. I haven't done it yet, but since you mentioned it, I definitely will look into doing that. But the funny thing is, since we're on the recipes, I do actually provide um, plant-based meals for my clients, in the postpartum period, because it is really important for women after they have a baby. You have pretty much depleted all of your resources, bringing that baby earthside. And it is so important to put back into the body after that. I can't stress enough how important nutrition is. And I wish all doulas would do this or have resources that would do this. But definitely, I actually make meals for the upcoming weeks for my clients so that they're able to restore their bodies and get back all of the things that they lost in the process of giving birth to their starlight.
What's up? What's up? Y'all ready?
Yeah, go ahead, T.
All right. Here it go, Karen. You ready, Karen?
I guess.
All right, Karen. This whole thing that y'all got about this ticking clock on giving birth. They said this whole thing is a myth. You can still have kids if you take care of yourself. Now tell them, cuz.
So in the Western lifestyle, there's a time clock, but that time clock is based off how we live in our society. And that's what we eat over a course of time. What happens is your body breaks down. You're putting all of these things such as dairy and sugar and alcohol and the coffee and the soy and all of these things are constantly being put through in your body your entire lives. And then by the time you get to 30, 35, which is when most people start seeing health issues, most people start to feel their joints, getting, riggedy and all of that stuff. That's where you start seeing the body start to break down. But if you are fueling your body properly, you're eating right, you have the right amount of hormonal balance, you are hydrating properly, you take care of yourself, you're getting physical activity, you're your blood and everything is moving well. Your womb is moving and functioning the right way. So now you don't really have a time clock because your body is actually 19 when you're 40. You know what I mean? I actually have a client who is 46 and pregnant right now. So I don't really believe in the time clock.
Mm. Are you influenced by Dr. CB at all?
Absolutely. Love that guy. I love his work. He helped me tremendously in a lot of my healing process. I love Queen Afua as well. For the ladies out there, she is a womb healer as well. So if anybody is looking to begin the process of healing the womb from different ailments such as horrible menstrual cycles, fibroids, cysts, you know, any of that kind of PCOS, like all of that stuff can be healed. It is not, it is a dis-ease, but it does not have to stay with you. So I feel like Dr. CB and Queen Afua was staples for me in my journey, which started when I was about 22 years old. I'm now 31. So yeah, I really believe in the power of a CBN diet. It is very accurate in my opinion.
So I just noticed something. You didn't say disease. You said dis-ease. Did you do that on purpose, or am I overthinking?
I did, because a lot of us don't understand the word disease. We hear disease and we think that it's forever. We hear disease and we think that it's incurable. But if you break the two words apart, it's dis and ease. So basically, it's just saying your body is not functioning right. Your body's not functioning with ease. It is functioning,
Mm.
you know, you know, off
Mm-hmm.
off its balance. And so when language and word power,
That's right.
we really have to pay attention to that because we it's like even saying something is a requirement, we will use the word requirement and think that that is the same thing as mandatory, but it is completely two different things. So when I say dis-ease, it's more so just saying that you're not at ease. Your body is not at ease, but your body can be at ease if you treat it well.
I never thought about that because if you look at this disaster, you know what I'm saying, things like that. Yeah, that makes a disqualifies all this as actually has a negative connotation to it. So, like you said, that's your body is not at ease. I like okay, duly noted. Thank you.
I like that.
What's up, Katie? What's up, Katie? You got another one before I hurt your hearts?
No, I'm enjoying it. I mean, I love the positivity, and you are absolutely right. Wording is everything, and that's one of the words that I never thought about. So, yeah, they're gonna hear me talking all kind of crazes now because I'm gonna be chop them words up. Like, no, that's dis-ease.
At At, you see all these, I'm not having no babies, my ship has sailed, Lord, my days are over. Y'all talk all that trash about practicing, but you don't want to go through with the game, huh? Okay. That's all they talk about every week is how they gonna practice making babies, but don't actually want to make the layup, coach. Come on, get back in the game and stop playing around.
Here's the follow up to that, Judge. Now the word is condoms are no good.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I have done several studies where I have reached out and asked women their experience with condoms. And maybe out of about 497 women, I can say 5 of them told me that they didn't have any issues with condoms. That's a large group. When we're looking at 5, only 5, and I told all of them, like, you have a vagina of steel, because I look at that as, yes, they are no good. They are no good. When you think about the condoms, you're thinking about they have spermicides in them. they have so many different preservatives. They have chemicals that keep them strong for a certain amount of time because they have to sit on the shelf forever. Rubber, like, is a foreign object to the vagina. Like, nothing is supposed to be going in there besides a penis, and we don't understand how sensitive and how fragile our vaginal walls are, and then we go into things. We see things like itching and burning and swelling, and it's just so much stuff, that yeast infection, BV, all of that stuff. I have heard my clients come to me and tell me that every time they use a condom, they experience a yeast infection, or they experience, burning, swelling, rashes, all of those different things. And while I do very much understand that they are important to keep you from being pregnant if you don't want to be pregnant, or STDs and HIV, they are really detrimental to the womb. They can cause cancer. They can cause so many other problems. They cause odor. They cause poor pH balances, and we don't ever think, that could be the case. We go our whole lives using these things, and we never say to ourselves, you know what, this is the issue, or this is the problem. And so what I say to addressing STDs is that if the person you are sleeping with, if you can't trust that person, you shouldn't be sexing that person. If you and that person can't go get tested together, you shouldn't be having sex with that person. If you can't learn your body and learn when you ovulate, learn when you are, you only can get pregnant 3 to 6 days out of the month. 3 to 6. That's it. You only can get pregnant when you're ovulating. So if you should be refraining from sex during those 3 to 6 days, get creative, do other stuff. You don't have to have intercourse. And that's pretty much my solution on how to get around STDs and, pregnancy. Condoms aren't 100%. So even if we're saying that, we're trying not to get pregnant, or we're trying not to get STDs, they are not fully protecting us. So it's still, everything is a game of being responsible, knowing your body, knowing, your partner, and things like that. And again, like I tell people all the time, we all grown, we all know that situations happen, and it is what it is. If you absolutely have to use one, but just understand that the aftermath is going to be what it's going to be. And I just feel like so many women tell me that, they don't enjoy it, and it hurts. So what is the actual point? Why are we having sex if we're going to be worried about, oh damn, this kind of going to mess me up, at the end of this, or you get dry in the middle of it, or whatever the case may be. It's like, I don't understand the purpose at that point. The purpose of having sex is to enjoy it, to feel the pleasure, to be in the moment. But if we can't do that because these products are bringing harm to the body and messing up our vaginas, it's like, I don't really get the purpose.
All right, Nell had a question. What's up, Nell?
Yo, how you doing? I follow your.
Hey, no, don't come on here with the deep voice. That's my cousin. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You definitely sound like you was fishing, bro.
Yeah,
I follow her on YouTube, so I know exactly who she is. But so you touched on the condom situation. Also touch on the use of anything that is not a real penis, like toys and things like that. How can that affect the vagina and things like that?
Oh, okay. So yes, I spoke about this before. So I know vibrators are a big thing, in the woman world, and my take on it is that everything electronic emits radiation or some form of EMF, and that can be damaging to the vaginal walls. That can be cancer causing, and it can also cause desensitization of the vaginal wall. So it can actually lessen your ability to feel true sensation on the inside from that constant radioactive exchange from the toys.
So that's what they call broken pussy. That's what they call the broken.
Yeah, but throw them damn roses away. You see, it ain't no good for you. Throw them just out the night.
Look, Sharita had a question. She wanted to know how do you feel about tampons and pads?
Good one. So your mainstream or your popular brands, Always, Kotex. I can't really think of all of them, but you get the drift. So your mainstream tampons and products are completely horrible. They're harsh. They have chlorine in it. Some of them have food dyes. If you ever see a pad and you open it up and they got that little blue line in the middle, that's food coloring. That's dye. You have just so it's just so pesticides. They spray.
Oh my
Like
goodness.
Huh?
No, I said, oh my goodness, pesticide.
Yes, they spray pest. So here's the thing: when these things are being produced, they are mass produced. So in the factories, they're producing them, but everything can't get wrapped at the same time. So sometimes everything is sitting up on the shelf waiting to go through the next process and things like that. If you're in a factory, you know there's going to be pests. There's going to be flies and mites and mice and everything else. So now what needs to be done, and this is cotton. So now what needs to be done is they need to be sprayed to keep these bugs and all of these other things away from them. And that is going into the vagina. That's you're sticking this into your vagina monthly. And sometimes women are using these products every day. I hear so many women say, I got to wear a panty liner every day because I'm constantly wet, which is also an issue. But you have to understand that so many people have horrible menstrual cycles. They bleed heavy. They have all of these cramps, all of these issues. And it's like, we're not thinking that the period products that we're using, the menstrual products that we're using is part of the problem. And so I say that you need to find a organic brand that processes their cotton, that does not use chlorine, that does not spray their things with pesticides. I am a fan of cloth pads. I know for a lot of people, it's like, oh, they're squeamish about it and they don't want to. But this is my whole thing is this is my body. This is, my vaginal fluid. And so I need to know what's going on with my body. So I use cloth. I wash them. I reuse them. I also eat a really, really healthy lifestyle, so I don't bleed much at all, which is something else that we don't understand. We're not supposed to be bleeding for 7 days. We're not supposed to be having thick blood and dark blood, and that's all a direct correlation to the things that we are putting in our bodies. So I definitely say be careful of what you're using when it comes to the products, especially tampons. Again, I don't advocate for anything being stuck up into the vagina. And I say that because so with a tampon being up there for an extended period of time, it's collecting toxins. And that's sitting up there. So, you gotta think about these things unless you're changing it every half an hour, it's really not healthy to do that.
Okay, Kalina said, what about the menstrual cups?
So I find that the menstrual cups have a lot of people have success with them, where they say, oh, my periods are lighter, they're easier. It depends on the brand, the material. So here's the thing about the vagina. The vagina is self-cleaning. It is a self-cleaning, and so it has a acidic level to it. So if you put something up there that is made of silicone, and it stays up there for a while, acid does what? It breaks down things. So that's kind of where I'm uneasy about it, because it's sitting up there. Your vagina is going through a cleaning process. It's pushing out the toxins and the waste. So it's at its highest, acidic level at this point because it's trying to get everything out and, clean itself. And so when you have that cup sitting up there, we don't know if it's breaking down the material, and our bodies could be absorbing it. So that's pretty much, my take on it. Like I said, I can't say that it's super horrible because, like I said, a lot of women say, oh, it's helped me. It's made it easier. My cramps are less, painful. But that's just pretty much my opinion.
Okay.
I got a question for you.
Mhm.
We talked about, the physical aspect of sex. Can you let everybody know about the spiritual aspect of sex and how, when you sleep with people, it's a transformation of spirits and a part of them becomes a part of you?
Yes, absolutely. So we're all energy. We are all vibrational energy. So um, there is something called, sexual demons. When this is why it's so important to know the partner, know who you are dealing with, know everything that comes with them, because during that sacred practice of you and your partner, or you and the person that you are having sex with, when you're exchanging that bodily fluid, you exchange DNA. When you exchange DNA, cells speak to other cells. So if the partner, if one partner is toxic and they have they've slept with all of these other women and their energy, and they didn't protect themselves and their energy is mixed up in their DNA and all of these different things, you are taking on all of those spiritual demons. You are now communicating through a cellular exchange because your DNA has mixed. Um, and sometimes we find ourselves waking up with an attitude after we've
Mhm.
had a great night of sex. We don't even know
Mhm.
why we got an attitude. We upset, we frustrated, we walking away, and we just can't figure it out. And it's literally because we have become one with all of the stresses and the things that the other person was going through,
Mhm.
and the people that they have slept with. And it's on both sides. It's vice versa. So it's really important to um, clear air and clear your space and talk to the person and know the person that you're dealing with, because it get wild in the jungle. So
Absolutely.
Talk about and I think hygiene is definitely necessary. Talk about how important it is to wash our hands, especially with self pleasuring ourselves. Some those things that are left on our hands could actually cause us to different type of infections and also lead to sexually transmitted diseases based upon chemicals that we've touched or things that we surfaces that we touch that leads to that.
yes. So it is always important to wash your hands no matter what. Because day to day we're all over the place. We're touching doorknob, everything. We're touching everything. I think with sex and sexual partners, uh, it's often forgotten because, just to give an example, you've been in the house and your partner's been out, and they come in and haven't seen you all day, and it's like, get to work, get right to work. They don't wash their hands, they don't do nothing. They just want to just get right into it, and this leaves us, like it says, like it's bacteria, it's germs, and it's so important to keep those body parts on both sides, on men and on women, but to keep your hands clean because um, we get up and it's bacterial vaginosis and it's yeast and it's just UTIs. Like all of that stuff can come from simple stuff, simple uh, just rubbing in the area, because the vagina walls and the tissues and the labia, it's so it absorbs everything. It's always moist, it's always fleshy, so it's always absorbing stuff. So it's definitely important to stay clean, keep your hands washed at all times, before, especially before you have sexual contact, because it causes just
Okay,
things that.
Tara wanted to know, what do you think about vaginal steaming?
Oh, I am a vaginal steam facilitator, so I'm definitely an advocate for vaginal steaming, for various reasons. I actually facilitate steams in Philadelphia at Jasper Studios. So vaginal steaming is good for a whole bunch of stuff. So it's like you can go into just maintenance, just to keep it clean and fresh, or you could be dealing with fertility problems. Vaginal steaming can help with fertility. It can increase your chances of getting pregnant. It can help you avoid recurring BV. It can help you get rid of UTIs. It can help increase your sex drive. Um, it can just help with, I mean, so many different reproductive ailments. I can't even name all of them, but it's definitely important to know where you're going and who you're allowing to facilitate these things, because all herbs are not for the vagina. I have seen so many people sell vaginal steam packages and things like that, and I'm looking and I'm just like, well, that herb does not belong down there. So it's really important to know who you're dealing with when you are going to get your vagina steamed, because it's a very sensitive area and it needs to be the proper amounts of herb. It needs to be the proper mixture of herbs. And so I am an advocate for vaginal steaming, especially just, for people who deal with cramps. It's so helpful for cramping, toning the uterus. It's so much that it can help with dryness. I know a lot of older ladies come to me, for vaginal dryness. And it's pretty much a good practice to maintain the health of the vagina and the womb.
Hey, I got one more question. I know we got to move to our next segment, but this is something that's really important that a lot of people don't know about, and I just want you to touch on it. So, like when we get in our car, people first thing people do is turn the music up. When we listen to, TV, obviously we got to have sound. Can you explain how important it is to listen to certain how important vibrations and frequencies are, and the different types of frequency and vibrations that bring blessings as far as money or peace and good health?
Yes. Definitely important. I am an advocate for powerful affirmations, powerful sounds that increase your vibrational affirmations. I love 432 HZ because it is the miracle tones of nature. So
Mhm.
that's my actual favorite. I know there's so many different ones, but I kind of stick to 432 because it is literally the original sound of the universe.
Mhm.
So that's why I stick to that. But energy all across the board is important. Sound is what started the earth. Before people could talk, before people were verbal, before there were people here, sound is literally energy transmuted. So I think that it's so important for us to, when we rise in the morning, that we listen to something powerful, that we listen to something that we enjoy. We got to pay attention to this stuff. We enjoy it from the heart space, because sometimes we get up and we want to work out and we put, you know trap music, and we put, and I'm not saying that trap music is bad, but I'm just
Right.
saying, when we raise up in the morning, our first thoughts and our first practice should not be to get into that space. It should be more so
Mhm.
to calm, to listen to things that bring us peace and calm, and so that we can reflect, so that we can prepare for the next day. I mean, for the upcoming day. But yeah, sounds are, first of all, it's healing. It helps us improve our mood. It helps us balance our emotions. So again, like I said, I don't really go into all of the different ones. I know when you mix sound and color, it's a beautiful thing. So you start to mix the chakra colors with the sounds, and then you can start to, open up blockages, open up
Mm.
places, in the brain space and the throat space and the heart space, that you didn't even know was blocked. Because sometimes, you see certain people walk around and you say, that person always so serious. That person always so serious. And they don't think anything is wrong with that. They don't think that nothing is the matter. But it's sometimes that is because trauma lives somewhere in the alignment, and they can't break free from it. So I think sound is important for sleep. It can help you sleep if you deal with insomnia. It can help you it heals the cells. It's really beneficial for so many different things. Like, I am a sound bowl therapist, so I definitely play bowls for my clients, and it helps take away pain for my laboring clients. My clients are in labor, and they're in transitioning, and those contractions are hitting real hard. And I start to play my bowls, and you can kind of see them just swaying, and they calm down. And so it's really just a powerful practice, because it is really the start of pretty much everything. It's frequencies. It vibrates everywhere. So
No.
Before we, I do have one question.
Hold on now. Can you read this for me?
That's what I was laughing at. And this is a running joke here on the Sunday Night Wind Down. We spoke several times on this, but too much jerking off, can that have an effect on your body? We told a couple of shows ago. We said if you bust 4 or 5 nuts before you go to work, you'll tend to have a great day.
So I can see both sides of it. You're definitely gonna have a good day. You're gonna be peaceful. You're gonna feel good. But I think sperm retention is important. When we talk about the power of manifesting our desires, we talk about the power of using sex energy to bring forth the things that we want. We have to understand that that's not in a physical way. Sometimes we need to allow our bodies to repair itself. When you are busting nuts, you are lowering your immune system. You are lowering your body's ability to actually fight off pathogens and all of these different things, because your body takes a whole lot of energy to bring that sperm out of the testicles, and to give you that sensation. So I think a healthy sex life is good, but sometimes you need to refrain, to heal, to bring back to practice discipline. Discipline is important. All of those things are, it allows your body to repair. It allows you to use that sexual energy to put it somewhere else, and to go hard at something else, if you know how to take the sexual energy and use it for gain other than the physical.
Hey, Ned, and on top of that, I think if you're jerking off to pornography, that can definitely be a bad thing, because too much porn is you creating a lustful spirit that may take you down a rabbit hole, like for real.
Yeah. Let me just say this real quick. I dislike porn, and I want to just say quickly, because porn is a incorrect education of an actual sexual life. So much porn that I see is the male dominating the woman. It's that whole idea of I'm banging her, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And women, regardless if most of us are going to say we like that or we don't like that, we think we like that because that's what we know and that's what we see. But it is not healthy. It is not healthy for someone to be treating you as if you are a damn dog. We are women. We are valuable. We deserve to be respected. We deserve to be honored. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have fun and that your sex life should be boring, but pornography teaches us the wrong idea of what it gives us, an unhealthy relationship with sex. And so many young boys come up and they mistake their emotions and their vulnerability with sex. And they don't even know how to show their feelings outside of sex, because that's all they know. That's just all they know. And so that's why I think that pornography is detrimental to our society. I don't advocate for it.
So you don't like it, but you watch it.
I don't watch it. I don't watch it.
You said so much porn, because you said so much porn that I see. So
meaning because
don't pay me no mind. I'm just messing with you. Don't mess.
No, I'm saying because I help educate young kids on sex. So
I'm just teasing you.
I have to learn. I have to see it and know it to be able to talk about it. So,
So
yeah,
it's
I don't.
That same thing I see it
so
too.
it's best that she is best instead of being a dog, he should become a horse and ride it.
What?
Nell said, "Let's doggy style and more girl on top." Hot
Yeah.
dog. Let's doggy style, more girl on top. Is what you're trying to say.
Y'all crazy, man.
So
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
one question that I did have, and I'm so glad you're on tonight, is I have MS. And what holistic approaches can I take to wean myself off of the chemicals that they are suggesting that I take?
Where is it actually targeting in your body?
Both my head and my spine.
Okay. I think that's difficult. I think we would have to consult because it's so much I would have to tell you. The first thing I would say is to do a heavy metal detox. You definitely need to start there. You definitely need to detox your body from heavy metals. You want to, I don't know how you drink water or how like your water intake is, but you want to increase your water intake and add seeded key lime each day. And that's going to start to detox your body and flush out, any toxins. I know this sounds crazy too, but you need to hug a tree. I'm not being funny. You need to place your bare back on a tree and allow the tree to absorb trees actually absorb toxins and transmute it out into the world as energy. It's a powerful. You need to ground yourself, put your feet into the dirt. That's just starting off. But your diet is absolutely important. I say if you eat meat, you need to remove meat. If you eat dairy, you need to remove dairy. You need to remove anything that's going to be detrimental to your body. And that's pretty much soy, sugar of any kind. So brown sugar, white sugar, cane sugar, all of that has to go. And this has to go for the time of healing. I'm not saying that you have to live this way. I mean, I would if it healed me, I would keep the lifestyle. But for your time of healing, you need to remove all of that stuff and do the heavy metal detox and start with the water and the key lime so that you can flush out those things. But I actually work with a young lady with MS who has tremendous improvements. She's not free of it, but it's very much tremendous improvement to the point where she actually got pregnant and they told her she would never be able to be pregnant. And she actually, had her first baby. So I think that it is very possible for you to heal, but you have to be willing to do the work. You have to also eradicate the fear of the dis-ease. You have to affirm that you are healing. You have to affirm that you are capable and powerful enough to, heal your body. Oh yeah, that's
You
okay.
muted.
I see. Yeah, so tart cherry juice is my number one. I don't know how I forgot about that. So tart cherry juice is my number one go-to with MS because cherry juice has a large amount of antioxidants and a large amount of I can't say the word because it's a long, crazy scientific word, but it has a large amount of this stuff in here that clears your body of free radicals. So it has to be tart cherry juice raw. It has to be raw. So it can't be like mixed with something or mixed with water. It has to be raw tart cherry juice. If you start to drink that every day, it definitely helps with the headaches. It helps with the pain. And I don't know if you seize or not, but if you are somebody who deals with seizures, I have had great success with CBD oil for that. But
yeah, I'm not having seizures, but CBD oil has become a friend of mine.
Yes, that's
in
awesome.
the past year. Yeah.
How's your Yeah, we'll talk about it later. I don't want to.
Hey T, we're gonna have to bring Cuz back on for another segment soon. You know what I mean?
All right, we good.
I say something.
Go ahead, KD. Go ahead, KD.
Hey, look, ain't that never stopped you before.
Listening to you, and I want to go back to the spirit of when you sleep with someone, how you ingest their spirit. I like that. And that is so true. As well, people don't realize you don't even have to sleep with them in order to ingest that spirit. And as you elevate, because once you become awakened, you begin to elevate. And as you begin to elevate, you begin to eliminate. And people do not understand how you have to eliminate them out of your life. But if that energy is not vibing and you're elevating, then you have no choice but to eliminate. So, I feel you on the sexual, where I can't say I feel you on that, unfortunately, but hell, the gym is my sexual partner, but with my gym, I don't have to worry about that stress because I go to the gym to distress. But that energy as a whole, which is what everything you said, it brings it around to the whole of the energy of protecting yourself. As far as now, I'm not sure what type of medical issues you have, but working in the chiropractic field for 14 years, ortho for 12 years, I can tell you that you need to find you a great, reliable chiropractic doctor.
Amen.
Because they will heal your body without the medication. That's the best way to go, is to heal without the medication, because it will heal or help one thing while it's tearing down another thing. And all of that comes into play with what you put into your body, as Nichelle said. I have thoroughly enjoyed this because this is right down my alley of the way my life has been for the last 30 years.
Yes. I second the chiropractor. I actually have a family chiropractor who I love and honor. Her name is Dr. Morgan, and she has a practice on Balakinwood. I'm going to give T the actual address, but each time that I have had a child, I have 3. It brings you out of your alignment. Like, obviously you're building a baby, your spine is moving, everything is happening. So each time I've had a child, I've gone to my chiropractor, and she has got me right back. I mean, right back into my alignment. Placing my uterus back where it belongs, putting my spine back into alignment. But definitely look into a chiropractor. But for optimal health, you have to pay attention to what you are putting in your body and do that heavy metal detox, so that you can rid the body. Like, the chiropractor is going to be able to free you from the pain, free you from the headaches. But in order for you to rid your body in your blood of the ailment, you must do the work, the nutritional work.
And which a good chiropractor is going to coach you on that. And you do not want a Gunstead method doctor. A Gunstead those are just the old-fashioned doctors that crack the bone. Do not go to a Gunstead. You want to go to an activator doctor. They are the ones that will just go up the spine, and they can tell which spine is out of alignment. And they will use the activator gun, which is a gentle pressure, but enough pressure to keep you into alignment. So find a great certified activator doctor. You make sure you do your research, because they will lie like they are activator certified. Even a great COTS doctor. Talk to your girl. It ain't too much I don't know.
Right.
All right, Judge. Before we move on, can we address this? You said, how long should she hug the tree?
I think you should be with the tree for about 15 to 20 minutes.
I hug my tree. I love my tree.
Yeah, 15 to 20 minutes. And ground. So when you're doing this, do not wear sneakers. Your sneaker. So does anybody know what blocks electricity?
Yeah, rubber. The rubber, the soles of your shoes.
On the bottom of the sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
Rubber. So all of our shoes, whether it's sneaker or shoe, they have a rubber sole. This is going to block the electrical current of the ground. You want to be barefoot, and you want to put your bare back against the tree. So wear like a loose shirt that you can lift up in the back and you can sit your back on the tree, but do not wear shoes. The rubber on the bottom of your shoes block the electrical current. The ground probably vibrates at about 200 hertz, I believe. When we are wearing sneakers, it takes it down to about 20. So, and that's per second. That's per second. You know, so you definitely want to be barefoot and allow the earth to help heal you, restore you, and remove those toxins from your body.
Okay. Awesome.
I do it in water myself. I mean, I do have a tree that I go and stand by when I get, you know, like it's certain times of the morning. I would go and I stand up on that tree and I gently take my foot out, you know, of my shoe and I feel that ground. But my meditation, nightly meditation, I use vinegar with the mother in it, baking soda, put it in my water, and I get my chakra rocks, put it in my water, and I choose my meditation of choice and cleanse. And I can actually feel the negative energy coming out of me inside of that water.
Yep.
I do it nightly.
That's dope.
Make sure you don't keep your feet in there too long because you know we absorb.
Right. Exactly. I'm telling you, Nichelle, the burning and stuff that I can feel, and I mean, it's amazing. Once you learn how to do it, it is simply amazing the cleanliness that you feel.
Go ahead, Judge. What you about to say?
Oh no, I was just wondering. Are you staying on for our next segment, or do you have to go?
I mean, if you want me to stay, I can.
We would love for you to stay. It'll be an honor.
We waiting on Karen's people so we can play the game. What's up?
Can you hit them up, Karen?
What's up, KD?
Wait, what about getting into?
Oh yeah, you into it now?
It ain't nothing rough.
Did y'all see the link?
Yeah, I emailed it to him a while ago.
I wouldn't do you like that because it ain't nothing rough.
Okay, because I told him 8:30. He may not even be able to.
In the meantime, could you tell him the foods that people think are good but are not good? Like you said, corn and soy, like those things.
Yeah, so corn isn't good for you. Soy isn't good for you. Yogurt is not good for you. Almond milk is not good for you.
What?
Carrot. Yeah, it's not good.
Let's talk about this almond milk thing.
So cyanide
is
a large is an ingredient within the almonds. Now, here's my thing. When it's produced by companies and not done by you, if you're not making the milk, then I say no. Because what you need to do with nuts, because when plants grow and bear the fruit for us, in order for them to keep, outsiders away and pests away, they form a protective layer around them, which is the cyanide. And it's their act of defense against, the pests in the outside world. When we eat that, it harms our body. So if they're not soaking and putting these nuts through a process of soaking and squeezing like some sort of acid on them to break down that protective layer, then all of the cyanide stays on it, and it affects our body. So I always tell people that almond milk is not a go-to for me. Corn, broccoli, carrot. People think that cauliflower, anything white, everything has to go through a process of photosynthesis in order for it to become colorful and give you its nutrients. Cauliflower doesn't go through that process. Brussels sprout, all of these foods are high in starch base. They don't have any real nutrients. And even garlic, a lot of people think that garlic is good. The thing about garlic, it will help with something, but it destroys the brain. So it's like medication. So if you take medicine It might help with the problem, but then it destroys your organs. It destroys your most medications. It says that your kidneys will suffer. It can cause kidney failure. So with garlic, it does boost your immune system, and it does help with your certain things, but it deteriorates the brain and it causes memory loss. So you got to choose your poison. You know what I mean? But yeah, those foods and cheese, like we give our kids cheese because we think, because you got that little food pyramid and they say you gotta give them this, that, the third. But cheese is no good for you. Um, what else? What else can I say that people think? Rice, rice is no good. Potatoes are no good. Um, that's pretty much like the major things that I can think of that are no good. But I mean, it's a lot of foods that are hybrid, that are grown from cell raping, and they don't have a complete molecular structure. So if our bodies can't communicate with the food, then we don't really benefit from it.
So I want to speak on this almond milk because I did some research on that. And it is, you're exactly right. It does have cyanide. However, from my understanding, the amount that it would take for it to be detrimental to your health would have to be in the like in the hundreds of thousands of pounds. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So if you're getting it by the carton like that, it shouldn't be. It will have traces, but nowhere near enough to harm your body. That's just the research I've done. So I just want to ask you.
Well, I mean, I definitely agree on that. But what I would say is, it takes a good 5 or so years for a medication to really impact the kidney. But if you are taking that medication, day in and day out, eventually it's going to impact the kidney. So if you're drinking this milk on a day-to-day basis, if it's a part of your everyday lifestyle, and then you also have to look at the other ingredients that is in this milk, because most of these milks that we buy that are already made, if you turn it over and you look at the ingredients, it's not just almond milk. It's not just almond and water. It's 17 different ingredients and 5 of them we can't pronounce.
Mm-hmm.
So my rule is that if I can't pronounce it, I'm not gonna eat it.
Eat it. That's right. Okay, so what do you got for a replacement?
So there is one brand that I like. I can't figure out the name of it. I'm gonna let you know the actual name of it, but it's one brand that I actually do like. They have walnut milk, they have hemp seed milk, they have different milk, they have different nut milks.
Yeah.
But I
Okay.
say make it yourself. I say make it yourself. It's very simple. The process of making milk, you need a blender, you need water, you need a little bit of salt, sea salt, and some sort of sweetener, whatever kind of, like I use agave or date syrup, but you can literally put uh 1/2 cup of hemp seeds into the blender with 8 cups of water, and you spin it for about 5 minutes. Let it spin, dash it with a little salt, dash it with a little sweetener, and once it's done spinning, you have a little cheesecloth or a milk bag, and you dump it into your container, and then you have milk.
Right.
So it takes me about 10 minutes. It doesn't even, I mean, it doesn't take long at all. I really say, you know, I, I'm a naturalist, so I kind of make everything myself. I can't, I never can expect everyone to like transition this way so quickly. It's a process. It's an overtime process. It's something that you have to, you know, phase your way into little by little. Because even when I started, I started with, eliminating meats, and then I was a pescatarian, but then I eliminated fish, and then I started, phasing out these things, and then I learned how to make my own bread and make my own milk. And so it's a large process of really getting to a holistic life, you know what I mean? But
Mm, nice.
Okay. Tara wanted to know, is oatmeal bad?
I would say yes. Oat milk is oats are a hybrid food, so uh, I wouldn't say that it's good. It's mucus producing, so I would say no. And the way I know that is because, so when you transition and you gain an alkaline pH in your body, when you eat something that is not alkaline, you will produce mucus. And I tried oat milk, and the next day I was like having to spit out and release mucus from my nostrils and from my throat. So I kind of can't say for everybody if it's good or bad, but I wouldn't drink oat milk.
Hey, Judge, look at this guy.
I saw it. I saw that. He said his pineapple's really good for the vagina.
Actually, pineapples are bad for the body.
You said pineapples are bad for the body?
Yes.
It's too acidic.
It's very much
citrus was good for you though.
Pineapples have
look,
4.
Here's the pineapple thing. The pineapple thing was supposed to be for guys, for their sperm to taste better. That's what the pineapple thing is for. It's not for girls. It's not a girl thing.
No, it's for females. It's supposed to have females taste better too.
What the hell?
If you want to taste good, then you eat good, you hydrate properly, and you wash with a soap that is not detrimental to the body.
No, they ain't talking about that type of taste. Where they talking about when you have a, you know what I mean? Whatever. You know.
Nichelle, please do not play these guys. Please don't play into these questions, girl. Let me tell you, will have you blushing.
But citrus is good for the body, right? Like, isn't like oranges and lemons? That's good for you, right?
Not lemons, but oranges, yes.
Lemons are not. Wow.
I use lemons as a cleaning product.
Mm-hmm. So that's so that is true. So doesn't it supposed to clean your body the same way from the inside? That's like lemon water is good when people are dieting and it's supposed to create a certain type of alkaline balance.
I mean,
Katie.
lemons are 2 different types of fruit. Are the cousins of 2 different types of fruit. So it's a hybrid. So it's like an orange and a lime cell raped together so that they can mass produce this type of fruit for profit. So the pH of a lemon is too powerful for the body. It's too acidic. Key limes and oranges with seeds. A lot of oranges don't have seeds in them. If you're going to eat oranges, you have to eat oranges with seeds. All of your fruit should have seeds. Every fruit bears seeds, right? That's in the Bible, right? We are women, we bear seeds, right? So all of the things that you eat should have even your bananas. A lot of people out here eat bananas, and bananas is no good because they don't have seeds in them. But some bananas will have seeds in them. Burrow bananas have seeds in them. Baby bananas have seeds in them. But those large bananas that we get in markets don't have seeds. And so they become too starch based. And we don't want starch because starch creates mucus and mucus brings disease.
Wow.
Okay. All right. So we got to move on. I mean, basically you are both segments. So no, that was dope. So we appreciate you, but we do have to do Battle of the Sexes. So, you are part of our show for that. And we welcome you. So Battle of the Sexes is basically we ask questions for the males that females know, and we ask the females questions that men know. So we're going to